Today I have for you a very explosive endgame scaling combo that you should definitely know about and give a try yourself. It is something really fun to pull off. Anyway, I'm playing Nosdormu, not the greatest hero, but any hero is pretty good if you just find tokens, triples, and avenge cards in the end. And tokens we do find. We already have a pair on Elemental, which is obviously pretty amazing. You can stay down, try and G for warrior curve this and triple this into a 4 or 5. Also, I pulled up my latest video because I was surprised to see 3 unsubs right away. But if you enjoy the content that you're watching right now, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to catch more. That's my very clean plug. So we got a pair on Sally, there's a triple. The cleanest way to do this is G curve, meaning we level here on 5 gold and just, you know, buy this pair. We can hold it on the board and we can take it whenever because Elemental triple is one of the most flexible ones in the game. You just have it sitting on your board and you can literally just take it whenever you want, and it can still be a double triple. That's why I'm rolling first before leveling, pretty important, because it increases my odds of finding another Elemental in the shop. Because if I do find a Elemental here, you know, I can buy it and I have 2 triples, because the main body triples, if you sell it, it gives me 2 droplets back, second triple. So to increase my odds, I roll here first and then triple. Now in this case I will level first and roll because I might want to buy a 4-drop this turn, since I am double selling and taking the triple into a 5. Now you might ask why a 5 and not a 4. It's because I have no events set up whatsoever, so it would take a while for me to actually get value from the cards, and if I miss it feels bad. While if I miss into a 5-drop right here, you know, it kind of sucks, but it's not as bad because I am on tier 4 and I can just, you know, buy a 4-drop here if my roll was decent. Plus I can just find avenge, like I find a dazzling this way. Instead of having to try and triple into it last turn, I was able to just roll it the turn after. Pretty lucky, but I mean, we don't get any avenge cards or any avenge triggers anyway this turn, so if I even roll dazzling or witchwing or whatever right now, it would still be the same outcome. I also froze for the Acolyte. It's just too good of a card. It's one of the most broken 1-drops even on tier 4. Now it's a really good tier 4 shop, but none of these cards have avenge synergy, and I really want to try and trigger dazzling as much as possible and milk it a bit. So I take Scallywag here. It's kind of interesting how on tier 4 you don't buy strong tier 4 cards, but instead buy crappy tier 1s because it just does so much better for you. The meta is in such a weird spot. It feels so awkward to do, but it just is the way the game is played right now, so we gotta make peace with it. I do take 12 damage from this tempo Galewing, who's also having like a wildfire on the board already. This shop is pretty good. I can buff up my dazzling so it doesn't get sniped too early. There's a tank which allows me to play greedy avenge cards because it turns avenge into a bunch of tempo and damage. And I'm freezing wildfire, not buying it yet. Again, I rather prefer buying the Scallywag here and taking the wildfire next turn after it's buffed up a bit. So that's the awkward thing. You gotta find the right balance of when to buy your buffed elementals. Also, this opponent has 2 avenge cards. They have Tony and Doomsayer, so I think it speaks for itself what the meta is right now. But yeah, so the awkward thing is knowing when it is correct to buy the elementals. I could buy the wildfire here, but then it's just pretty small. Well, right now the wildfire is a lot bigger because we milked it one more turn or skilled up with the dazzling. Now, is this big enough to buy? I mean, probably. What else am I doing this turn? I can probably level. I'm still on 23. Now there is no damage cap anymore, so I have to be careful of that. HysteriA already died, and I put Lich at like 1 HP or 3 HP or something like that. And I just buy a Baron here to get more value from this double Scallywag, get some more triggers from the tank and the dazzling. Pretty greedy, because I mean, it's just a 1/7 in the end, and I get like maybe 1 more trigger out of it. But I feel like we can get away with it. This Hook Tusk is just playing demons. We got full milk value as well. And they also, you know, got a tank because why not? Everyone has an avenge card on the board by now. We're at tier 5, meaning we can also find Nomi. We can triple into 6s, and there's Nomi. So the cleanest transition from dazzling is still just straight into Nomi, because dazzling, you know, you have to keep really weak avenge cards on the board for a while. You can't really afford to do that for too long. So instead you can start cycling elementals instead, which is just more consistent in the end, and you can just play strong tempo boards. We also tripled Scallywag. You can see me being confused whether or not this is bait. I was really thinking it was bait at first, like really considering it, but there's still Genie on tier 6, which should be pretty good. Lil Rag is not amazing, but you know, there's maybe a Mulligan that could be decent. And we do hit Genie, which is the best hit here since it does trigger avenge pretty well. And it does also, you know, maybe give me an elemental that could be useful with the Nomi, like a Sally, or maybe even a triple into Wildfire, you know. And in the end, it is gonna just drop the triple. So we got super rewarded for this play here, luckily, and we got still a little bit of dazzling scaling in here. But dazzling has to come out. It's only a 6/9. Haha, that's the funny number. So it just can't stay on the board any longer. I'll just die. We are facing Millhouse. And here's felbat, and this is the scaling combo that I wanted to talk about. I think most of you already know of this, but I haven't made a video about it, so I thought it would be interesting for those of you who still don't know it. But basically the felbat just eats things from the shop, and because the scaling with elementals happens in the shop and not on your board directly, if you play nomi or dazzling elementals, you can just eat the stats from the elementals in the shop onto your demons. And the reason why that is better is because elementals scale up little by little. Let's say they're like 20/20s right now in the shop. If I just eat them, they're like, my demon becomes a 40/40 and then a 60/60. It scales a lot more rapidly. Plus, you can scale up amalgadons this way. So this amalgadon, I bought some more tribes trying to get it some more adept, and I got shield, which is amazing. I buy another card out of the shop, hoping to increase my odds of eating the elementals, because there's 3 cards in the shop now, 2 demons. Sadly, I didn't eat all of the elementals. It was a coin flip, but you can see how big this amalgadon got in 1 turn, just because we ate an elemental. So the best way to progress this board is to find double felbat, because then you eat the full shop. If you have double felbat and 1 amalgadon, you eat 6 cards, which is the entire shop, and then you can find Hamuls onto your 6, which allows you to just fill the shop completely with elementals. So you guarantee get insane stats onto everything. Like the scaling is insane. Now I'm decided to stay down for an extra turn though instead of level, because you have double nomi, and I want to try and milk a bit here. Whether that's correct or not, I think it is. Like, we can just scale up our elementals, should be good enough. And if I find a shop with a bunch of elementals, I'll just end there and try and eat them with the felbat and the amalgadon. I'm not gonna buy just a random demon on the board. I was looking at the amalgadon, the battle master, but the main issue with just buying a random demon on the board is the fact that you have 3 demons then, but if you find a second felbat, you have 4 demons, and you eat twice, so you eat 8 times, meaning you don't even get full value from it. Like, you don't need a full board of demons. You can still just play big elementals and eventually just find second felbat and eat full shops and guarantee a bunch of stats. So I think too many people get baited into either full switching into demons or just no going demons at all and just sticking with elementals. It's a safe play. You can definitely play elementals here and probably get a first place still, but this is more fun and has more hero potential, so why not? I do have to end up selling a nomi here. I'm trying to figure out what the best play is, and I'm rolling a lot because I want to end on the shop with as many elementals as possible to eat. So I'm just trying to find shops with at least 2 or 3 elementals. Sadly, last turn I ended on 1 elemental, this turn as well, but both turns I ate it, so that's pretty good. You can already see my amalgadon being bigger than my wildfires and my other elementals, so that is what I mean with the scaling being a lot better than just sticking with elementals, but it being a bit more high rolly dependent, because you need to find elemental shops to eat or Hamul and other great stuff. Now, Stasis is also an interesting card because this will leave an elemental in your shop, so you could end your turn playing your Stasis, increasing the odds of eating an elemental because you put more in the shop, and just buying out the entire shop, right? So I'm rolling a lot. I find a second Stasis. I still need to find a good shop. I want to find one with at least 2 elementals in, and then I'll be happy. This is just 1, probably not worth it. I probably gotta kick the nomi as well soon, since the scaling doesn't matter as much anymore. It's a top 3. I'll just try and find a second felbat instead. That's probably the most important thing, finding second felbat or finding Hamul, or just a great shop in general. And maybe another amalgadon could fit on the board, who knows. I'm buying a random card from a shop with the least amount of stats, so that way it doesn't get eaten and increases the odds of the elementals in shop being eaten. So we get 3 elementals now, 4 non-elementals, but I still only have 2 demons and I only ate 1 elemental. But this amalgadon is getting massive. It's already bigger than this golden cyclone now. And we're still destroying people. Like, every fight we just keep on smacking people in the face. Like, we killed Hooktusk from being in first position a couple turns ago, and we're just an absolute monster. Why? I mean, it's no secret. We just hit early dazzling, lightspawn, milked, and then did some other bullshit that should be illegal. Now, I'm not gonna buy both elementals, so we don't have nomi anymore. There's no reason to skill up. I did also find second felbat a bit late. It's probably final 5, but still worth it since we will eat the entire shop. And another amalgadon. Why not? What else am I gonna do with my life and this board? Like, again, there's no scaling. There's no reason to just buy random elementals. That's why I skipped the elemental, and I'm gonna skip this this party here. I want to find as good as a shop as possible, since I will eat a full shop. I have double felbat and double amalgadon, meaning we got just stats coming onto all of those cards. One of the Amagdons got poison, one of them shield. If they could merge together, they would be the perfect Don. But you know, they're just they're good enough, I suppose. Our last opponent is also playing elementals, so it depends on if he was able to outscale us or not. If he's just pure elementals, most of the time he doesn't. He could try and counter me with poison, but in the end we'll have to wait and see if that's the case. Now I'm rolling a lot. I still don't really find good elemental shops. This entire game I wasn't able to find a single Hamul or end on a single shop with more than one elemental, except for when I bought the Stasis. I was able to put more elementals in my shop. But as you can see, the other naked felbat we played is already catching up to the other one, and they do open with Spore. Luckily I do have a Divine Shield Taunt, and it attacks into it. Now he is a little bit bigger than us, but that's because he has tripled his elementals. He's killing with Nomi and Dazzling, and he tripled all of his elementals, tripling the stats of those elementals in the end, but doesn't actually scale like at all anymore. We're able to beat him. That's it. I hope you now have another trick up on your sleeve when you're playing elementals and you happen to triple into felbat. Keep this in mind. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.